name's James.
I'm Presley.
And welcome to The Height of Horror. Woo, episode 0, Presley.
Crowd goes crazy.
It feels, most people would be like, oh, episode 0, they're going to be all timid and shy boys. No. This is old hat to me. I believe I've done over 500 episodes of podcasts, so you're in good hands, horror fans.
Yay! I've done 11.
11?
I think so.
Oh, man.
Not a lot. I'm a baby.
So you have Eggos, and you love consuming them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw you like, fuck, I don't know where James's string of thoughts is right now.
My nose bleeds when I concentrate too hard.
Mm-hmm. My nose bleeds when I see a hot lady, so it is most times of the day because Nicole doesn't go to work often. Well, she also has a home job, so a homebody, darling it. Oh, plugs right up front for my spouse.
Shit, yeah.
Presley, who are we? Why are we here? What will we be doing? What do you want to start out with first?
Well, we're new friends, and we are starting a podcast together about horror movies.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's always talking. You hear it, it's in the zeitgeist nonstop since the year was 1933 when Universal Horror began. I don't know if any of this is factual, but it doesn't matter. What matters, because we're going year by year, not really in any order, but we are trying to find out, because it's on everyone's tips of tongues, what is the best year in horror? What is the worst year in horror? Well, we're going to try and kind of either find that or most likely prove that that is all subjective and every single year is going to have some good, going to have some bad.
Yeah, that is fair.
And I'm so glad that I asked you, Presley, because a lot of horror fans will ponder that question of like, well, it could be this. And also, they straight up say subjective. Oh, well, it's subjective, so I really don't know. Not you, Presley. You said 1998, and I said, hell yeah.
It was a special year for me. That is when I was a baby and I was just born to watch horror, I believe. I was just born this way. But that's when I really started coming into my own with horror.
In 1998, I was the young age of 23 years old. And currently, that would make me almost 50, possibly.
Very old.
No. I was 7.
Oh, I was 4.
And all I remember about this year was probably like, I'm gonna choke on my rhymes. One of these songs that was in Bride of Chucky.
See, Living Dead Girl. That's how I know that song.
I don't know what, it was just like a, you know when people take Blink-182 and throw Dragon Ball Z on top of it? Whatever that is called. MTV had it for Bride of Chucky, I think, but I'll find out if I'm incorrect when I do trivia and whatnot on that movie when we get to it. But that's what we're doing. We are going to take 12 movies from each year because I'm thinking what would make a good year in horror is if you're hanging out with your friends, if you see a movie a week with your friends, that's already a lot. That's asking a bunch, but you're probably not going to be like, hey, let's watch a horror movie every single week. Some people might say, I want a comedy. I want to see boobies on screen that aren't getting splashed with blood. I want to see them getting splashed with some snow because they're on a ski resort. That's a comedy version instead of, I don't know where I was going with that. So I think once a month you go see a horror movie with your friends and we're going big budget, low budget, no budget, made for TV or made for the silver screen.
We had different friends because my friends and I would watch AMC's Fear Friday every Friday.
Oh.
Yeah, we were about it.
Okay, well, my friends were like, let's watch one of us play Final Fantasy 9. Or, hey, let's get on Diablo 2 and see how many Trist runs we can do, take down Griswold.
Different strokes for different folks.
Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, the most horror that I watched that wasn't like a Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark was AMC on either Halloween or a Friday the 13th. Most of those days I'm like, I kind of want to call in sick. Or do you, as you're a parent,
Yes.
do you title it call in sick for your children?
What's your question?
When a child is sick and they can't go to school, do you say I called them in sick like you would at work?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
I had to call his school because he's sick.
Okay. So your son would say, hey, I'm calling in sick today, guys.
Not that formal, but yeah, we get a form of that.
So he's probably like doing a dab and then makes his Fortnite character say it.
Yes, exactly.
Someday, oh baby, that's the future I want to live in, is when school is just Fortnite, and that's gonna rock. You can't get bullied in Fortnite.
I know Ian plays a lot of Fortnite with Thomas, but they're kind of mean. Like, you know how the Xbox Live people were really mean?
Mm-hmm.
The Fortnite people are also unpleasant.
Okay. But that's only if you have talk activated.
Yeah. Like it's like the Xbox Live for the new generation.
Mm-hmm. Like you would, in order to bully someone in Fortnite, would be somehow all 99 people besides you are aware, hey, let's just go after James, Marshland Monster on Fortnite. And like, that's how you get bullied, is everyone gangs up on you. But I'm just ducking in a single bush until the entire everyone is dead. And then I go after that first person, and then I take them out. And they're like, hey, I'm level 100. This dude's level 5. How did he kill me? And it's like, because I'm glamping.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's what our podcast is, vaguely talking about horror and then tangents. So, Presley, that's what you would do as a child. What kind of horror movies are you into today, to find out your taste?
Well, it's really weird. I was really late to the game. Mm-hmm. Like, when I was younger, I knew I really liked horror. Like, I was obviously watching horror movies at a really young age, but it was all the, like, very mainstream, you know, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street type things.
Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, Basic Instinct.
Ooh.
No, I just watched that like last year for the first time.
Same with Fatal Attraction. That's why it's on the tip of my head.
Yeah. But see, I lived in very rural Montana, so I wasn't really exposed to a lot of like, just not so mainstream, I guess. I don't know. So it started when I was 18. I went to this bigger town called Missoula, which is like a small city in Montana. Mm-hmm. And I bought this horror magazine, and there were so many movies in there that I just wasn't even aware of, like Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
After I got that magazine, I really fell down a rabbit hole of like, you know, the forbidden fruits of like horror. And I really started like watching a lot of different ones when I met my husband, Ian, because he's into so much stuff.
Yeah, that's like Nicole and I when we went to, it's a festival ran by a chud of a man, but it sucks because the actual festival is cool, and it sucks that you shouldn't go to it anymore because the man who runs it is a piece of shit politically and whatnot. So G-Fest, it's a Godzilla festival here in Chicago. When we went to that, we all of a sudden we thought, hey, Godzilla, that's what it is. And then our world opened up to so much cool shit because you had like G-Fan and all these other magazines and resources that people were like, here's a bunch of tokusatsu stuff that you would probably enjoy. And we're like, yeah, we enjoy this wholeheartedly. And we will someday do some tokusatsu horror stuff like a Zyram, ooh baby, a Tokyo Gore Police, hell yeah.
Yes.
That kind of stuff is nice.
Shit yeah.
Mm-hmm. But me for horror, child was very into Friday the 13th. My mom was super into Nightmare on Elm Street, so I got that by proxy. When I got my quick story, my sister was playing with a knife. We were home alone. I was going into the 6th grade, And she's like, hey, James, check out my knife. And it was just like a sharp knife to cut vegetables. And I'm like, stop it, get away. And had me cornered. She's like, you afraid I might cut you? And I go, stop. And I like hold out my hands and then just slice to the bone 2 of my fingertips. And I had to then, very afraid of needles still to this day. My mom luckily worked a few blocks away. This relates to horror, guys. We'll get there. I'm like, I don't want this shot. I don't care if I get tetanus. I'd rather get tetanus than get this shot. And my mom's like, dude, I want to get, now being an adult, I'm like, she just wanted to go home after work. She didn't want to deal with this bullshit. How my sister didn't get grounded forever because of this baffles me. But my mom's like, you want to know what? If you get this shot right now, I will take you to Freddy versus Jason. No questions asked. And I go, hell yeah. However, I guess there were some questions being asked because whenever a pair of breasts were on screen, my mom would cover my eyes and say, this isn't the Nightmare on Elm Street I know. And it's like, yeah, because it's also Friday the 13th.
Oh my God. Fun fact. I lived in such a small town that whenever there was an R-rated movie, we had to get signed in by our parents because everyone knew everyone. So my dad signed me and my brother in to go see Freddy vs. Jason, and I was in 3rd fucking grade.
Damn. Yeah. So that's like, there's a difference between a 12-year-old seeing it and that would be a 9-year-old.
Yeah, I was a itty bitty baby when I saw that movie.
Yeah, but at least you realized Freddy versus Jason is great for critical deductive reasoning of like, yeah, this dude died by fire and this dude died by water. It's got to be used for something.
Face your fears.
Face your fear factors. But
yes.
These days I collected like a bunch of stuff. So people are like, okay, James likes fun stuff. As long as it's not pretentious or boring, I will probably enjoy the movie. I broke this down into 4 small categories with like some of my favorites in it. I like campy stuff. I like batshit stuff, found footage, and some serious stuff. Some of the stuff on my serious, people will be like, I don't think that's that could go into campy or batshit, but I think it's serious. So the campy, I like Ghoulies 3. They're going to college, baby. Everyone's favorite troll 2, a new one that Nicole and I are obsessed with now, Hack-O-Lantern. Have you seen that, Presley?
I have not.
Dude, it's on Tubi. Go watch it. Nicole said like, oh, your trashiness is wearing off on me, rubbing off, I should say. And I'm like, hey, it's just good filmmaking. Like it's kids in the beginning. One's cutting pumpkins and throwing the guts at his sister. And she goes, quit splashing me. And it's like, that's not the phrase you should use. It's great. Sleepaway Camp, Doom Asylum fucking rocks, guys. Check out Doom Asylum and Unmasked Part 25. Those are some of my favorite campy comedy type horrors. Batshit, though. It's a Lifetime series. Stalked by My Doctor is so fucking good. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
I think it's still on Amazon Prime. If you got that, go check it out.
I do.
The aforementioned Tokyo Gore Police and Uncle Sam, even though Uncle Sam could go in the serious pile.
I just vaguely remember that video cover, and it was just Uncle Sam. Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I know it. My
collaborator, Howard Kremer, a.k.a. Dragon Boy Suede, he's a stand-up of note and a rapper/comedian, podcaster of Who Charted. He is in that movie for a split second because a friend of his made it. He's just serving hot dogs at the like final cookout scene. So if you watch that, look out for my colleague, Howard Kremer.
Hell yeah.
Then we have under found footage. I like all found footage. I think found footage for me, I understand. I can totally get why people are like, this is corny. It hurts my eyes, whatever. It's just it could be the worst one ever and I will still be scared as fuck. But some of the best ones are like Hell House LLC, Blair Witch, of course, and the granddaddy of them all, UFO abduction. And then for my serious ones, Hellraiser, Popcorn, The Intruder, the Ring trilogy, so like Ring, Ring 2, and Ring 0 Birthday, and oh my God, I don't know why, Criterion has to have put it out. Why is this not in the Library of Congress, Chud?
Oh, I love that movie.
It's so
good.
It's amazing.
So good.
People who don't like it, I don't understand. So, Nicole, I don't understand you. For people who are like horror fans, aren't fans of like the other podcasts I do, Nicole is my spouse. I will just reference
she's
her.
Lovely.
Yes. And Ian is yours.
Ian is my husband, yes.
Do you have any to categorize your taste? What are you into?
Oh, fuck. I don't categorize them very much.
You don't need to do that.
Okay, yeah. See, I watch them like based on moods and at random.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the times I go for like, I watch Martyrs a lot. It's a French horror film.
Mm-hmm.
That one was really fucking wild the first time I watched it, and I've seen it like 15 times since. And I don't want to say it's like a feel-good movie, but it feels like home to me. Mm-hmm. High Tension is another French horror film. The French horror film, they do some crazy shit.
I think I've already asked you this, but have you seen Knife Plus Heart?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, it's a French horror film. We did it for This Movie's Gay because it's very queer and it's so fucking good.
Yes.
It's shot amazingly. 2 thumbs up to that.
Oh, I'll have to check that out because I fuck with French horror like heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Inside was really good too. I don't watch that one a lot because like I've been pregnant recently and it's just pregnancy violence on another level. But Bride of Chucky, that's the first horror movie I ever watched. I watched that quite a bit. I like this movie with Liv Tyler. The Strangers, I think it's called.
Yeah, The Strangers.
I watch it a lot, but yeah, I couldn't remember the name. I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous.
The Strangers is one of the scariest movies ever because it's just so real.
It makes me feel uncomfortable. Like it's like it gets under my skin, and I think they do it really well. It's a great home invasion movie.
Yeah.
Hellraiser, I fuck with Hellraiser too. And I hated it the first time I watched it. I had to watch it like 2 or 3 times before I was finally like, all right, you're fine.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead remake, I love that movie so much. It literally ruined one of my summers because I was like 10 and I was like, this is going to happen. What the fuck? Like, we aren't prepared. Like, what are we doing?
So you got a wide breadth of horror movies you enjoy.
I do, yeah. There's a lot. I like The Shining. I like all of the Stephen King movies a lot.
Okay, The Shining is. I thought you were gonna say like all the Stanley Kubrick, and I was gonna be like, okay, guys, we might need to stand back because Stanley Kubrick's the only director that I'm like, this man fucking sucks at making movies.
Yeah, no, I fuck with The Shining very heavily. Mm-hmm. I like Psycho a lot. I like a lot of like the older horror, like 60s, 50s, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Hell yeah. You know me. I love Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's my aesthetic.
My aesthetic is so good. It holds up. It's scary to me. Like, it's good. Like,
we'll be watching it for the first time, or I'll be showing Nicole it for the first time this year. We were going to, because Nicole got a bootleg copy of it in 3D, because Nicole had asked me, hey, what movie would you want to watch in the theater? And I was like, if I ever saw anyone promote Creature from the Black Lagoon in 3D, like one of the original prints, I would absolutely do that. She found a bootleg of it on DVD and rented out a theater. And she said, this was for my 30th birthday last year, but she said, hey, I don't know if this blown up on the screen will look good because it's a bootleg. If not, play this movie and you don't need to tell us. I'll know if it is. She made 3D glasses for everyone. It was awesome. Nicole's good at making baked goods. She went to pastry. So she dropped out of pastry school, and she likes saying that because it's a terrible industry. It's just allows assholes to be in charge, like most industries.
Yeah.
So we sit down, and the cake had like the Creature from the Black Lagoon poster and fondant on it. It was really cool. But it starts and we're like, nope, this is Psycho Goreman, but Psycho Goreman fucking rips.
I love that movie. It's so fucking good.
Which, hey, the Astron 5, I believe, is what that collective is. The Steve Kostansky movies, those are really good. Like Father's Day, The Editor, all of those. Manborg, I think, is one of them. All very good. Yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm excited to watch it with Nicole.
Oh, yeah, it's so good. I like Dario Argento movies a lot. I named my son, his middle name's Dario.
Whoa.
Yeah, specifically Tenebrae. That's my fucking jam. I've seen that movie so many times, and the fucking soundtrack is so good. I like sleazy movies, I guess, like Maniac. Oh, Maniac is nasty.
Just so you know, there's no editing between that, like, Dario Argento and then I like sleazy movies, I guess. Like, there's that zero editing.
You're welcome.
No transition, just, I like a sleazy movie. Yeah, like Trauma. Trauma's great. Besides, I like Trauma in-house produced movies, but some of the stuff they just, like, distribute is unwatchable.
Yeah, I don't really fuck with Trauma very much. I'll give credit where credit is due. I've seen the monster guy.
Toxic Avenger.
That guy. I've seen that one. I've seen that movie with the pickle.
No idea.
Oh my god, it's a movie where it's like a blind director and this Lloyd Kaufman.
I would not describe that movie as the one with the pickle terraformer.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
The pickle is a big thing for me.
Okay.
The pickle movie.
You mean that episode of Rick and Morty? I don't know what you mean.
Oh, and I can't even not mention it. And as much as I hate this man, House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects were staples for me.
I'm a huge Rob Zombie defendant. I think he just seems like a nice man and a sweet boy who's doing what he loves to do. Like, he achieved the dream since he was a kid. Hey, I want to do art shit, and he's doing art shit.
Yeah, he did an episode of Cribs, and he had a bunch of Universal Monster stuff, so that was cool.
He's a nerd. That's what people should take away from Rob Zombie. He's a nerd doing nerd shit.
Yeah, I kind of looked at it in a different perspective when you said he uses his wife a lot in his movies, but Nicole does all of my art for me, and I was like, okay, that's fair. Yeah. I could see that.
It's him truly knowing the business of being an actor fucking sucks, of trying to go on auditions and getting told no all the time. Hey, I'll produce these movies and I will direct these movies that I write. Guess what? My wife's going in them.
And every single one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but the Halloween 2, I couldn't.
Yeah,
I could never.
Both Halloween 2s I just vehemently hate. The first Halloween 2 and Rob Zombie's, I'm like, oh, this sucks. I was mad seeing that. But the first one, I loved. I also, Halloween Ends. I won't spoil it, but it's my favorite Halloween now. It rips.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It rips. Oh. It's so fucking good. Oh, man. It's how it should have ended.
Yeah, I don't even want to. I could talk for days about that movie.
You want to know what? We will. Someday we will.
Oh, my God. Okay, yeah. It was a lot. It was a movie. That's all I have to say about
Both
that.
Nicole and I left it saying that ripped, and I left it saying that's number one now.
In my heart.
I did say we were talking to Comatose, and I did tell him, he was like, yeah, it's for someone to like, and I'm glad you liked it, but it's not me. And I said, granted, Corey does look a lot like, or actually identical to my brother, so that could have played into it a little bit.
Oh, I saw this I don't know if it was a meme. I think it was a clickbait article, but it was could Corey be Michael Myers' son?
No.
Get the fuck out.
No, that dude's impotent.
What if he wasn't, though?
Okay, all right. No, that's a clickbait article. Michael Myers, he's impotent, but what if he wasn't? You're laughing too hard at that.
I know.
Okay, so let's get. Sorry, we're a new friendship, so we're gonna be talking about the stuff we like and want to hear what the other says. But let's get into the list of movies we'll be doing. We're doing 12, however, there will be a 13th viewer choice out of, I think I pulled maybe 40 movies from this year, so there's a lot falling to the wayside. But we wanted to get that high budget, the cult classic, a remake, a legacy sequel, all of these things to make a TV movie, things to round things out. So let's get into our list of the 12, and then when we're closer to the 13th, we'll put up a poll on whatever Twitter I'll be using. So let's begin. First up, we have, also we'll be pulling these from, I'm going to call him the Monster of Bucketstein, because I got this little Frankenstein bucket that my dad and stepmom gave like a bunch of candy to us a few years ago, and it's just Frankenstein. It's a bucket cloth. So we'll be pulling names out at the end of each episode. So we don't know right now what first movie we're doing, but here's the list. Ronnie Yu's Bride of Chucky. That's the reason why we're doing this year specifically. Then the Alien meets Titanic sci-fi horror movie Deep Rising. The Sarah Chalk vehicle made for TV's I've Been Waiting for You. Dario Argento's take on Phantom of the Opera. One of the scariest movies I've ever seen, the J-horror classic Ring. From Friday night sleepover favorite Full Moon Features, we've got Shrieker, Christopher Walken starring movie about druid witches, The Eternal, John Carpenter's Vampires, a trailblazer in K-horror in a post-militarized South Korea. We've got Whispering Corridors. It started the fucking franchise of Whispering Corridors. I've seen one of them, Memento Mori. Go listen to that episode of This Movie's Gay to hear my thoughts on that. And then, oh my God, we have Twisted Sisters, Strangeland. The 1998 remake, of course it's from 1998, remake of Carnival of Souls. I hope it's as good as the first one because I watched that recently and I'm like, holy shit, this doesn't make any sense, but boy, is it cozy. Our legacy franchise pick, our legacy sequel is what I should have said, Curse of the Puppet Master, and then Listener's Choice. You know, we got The Faculty, etc.
That's a pretty solid list, if I do say so myself.
And I really like that we're doing this format instead of like, hey, let's go franchise by franchise, because it will force us to watch things, one, we would never watch, and two, things people probably aren't talking about on podcasts.
Yeah.
So do we have anything else to talk about besides maybe like release schedule? It'll be every other week, the second and fourth Monday of each month.
I don't think so.
All right. So you guys know when we'll be releasing, who we are, what we enjoy. Also, we're probably never going to get like angry and shit. This is going to be a goofy podcast. I hope you already understand that by now. And anything else? You got anything to plug, or should we pull it first?
Yeah, let's pull it first.
All right. I'm shaking it up. They're little pieces. Presley, you will know I picked Phantom of the Opera if I pull something out, look at it, go, and then put it back, because Nicole will be the guest on that. She loves anything Phantom of the Opera. And I've had her do way too many podcasts this last week, so she needs a break. So that's the only one I will put back. Pull this. The first movie we're doing is John Carpenter's Vampires, baby.
Oh my God. Yay. Awesome.
Presley, what you got to plug?
I have Parents Under the Stairs with my husband, which we're kind of taking a hiatus on. We're doing some behind the scenes stuff, some, a little bit of rebranding and just fixing. We're fixing it. We're giving her a facelift. You can check out Horror Corridor. That's my husband's show.
I've been on that.
You have been on that. It was a badass episode.
Thank you.
It was lovely. Yeah, that's all I have.
I have so much, but I'll keep it short. Hey guys, go to mlmpod.com to find out about my other podcasts, such as Mostly Speakin' Sentai, which Presley has been on. That's the show about Super Sentai that I do with my spouse, Nicole. Check out Hit It and Crit It. Currently, it's a D&D podcast, an actual play. I am DMing a batshit campaign that will start, I think, this month. Yeah. It's going to be good, this month being November, called Derms Clerman. But we have like 60 other episodes of Campaign 1 you can check out. Shuffling the Deck / Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling with Sean Marciniak. It was an ICP podcast. Now it's a wrestling podcast, which is much better than ICP. Oh boy, just listening to an album of theirs each week and trying to dissect and criticize it. It became taxing. Good thing Sean's very funny and a fun hang. And then Formulaic, it's a script writing podcast where R2 Shelby 2 and I, we take a podcast, or not a podcast, we take a TV show with a very formula plot structure. We take that structure, break it down into an outline, Mad Lib that outline. Then in an hour, we write an entire script, episode 1/0, where we did that to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Very funny episode. Check that out. And then we do a table read of it the following episode. Then listen to my music under Marshland Monster, wherever music is found. Hey, you liked the theme song? I got more stuff like that on Spotify. Or Deezer. Check out Deezer, guys. Speaking of French horror films, French music streaming app, Deezer. And then head over to patreon.com/MLMpod, where for $5 a month, you get exclusive content like Engaged with Nicolas Cage, Death from Above, which Presley has been on. This Existed, and Mostly Speaking Sentai After Dark, which is just Mostly Speaking Sentai, but we're doing adult-themed tokusatsu stuff. Every single Friday, you get a new podcast there. But if you're a $10 patron, you get more exclusive content once a month and shout-outs on every single free feed podcast. So let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour, Alex Z, The Waz, Orion, he's a rapper, Defo, D-FO, Kayla, a.k.a. Two Grapes, Jordan B., The Chaos Witch, Joshua, that's my Pickle, my brother in common law, or I should have said Joshua, Jacus, my brother in common law, Steve Barnes, you know him. He's from Sweet Child of Time, that other podcast that I do, but he's the host and I'm the co-host. He edits it. That's what that means. My mother, the womb in which I emerged. And finally, Lil Corey's BFF and roommate, Shane. I've been James.
I'm Presley.
And this has been The Height of Horror. See you guys. Bye.